wanted to review just a few concepts from the They Snooze You Lose text tonight. First of all, I noticed that they talked a little bit about TED Talks in the They Snooze You Lose first chapter 3. I think we read 3, 4, and 5 this week. And I wanted to mention that I had done a TED Talk. It was a really amazing experience, and if you go searching for it online, you'll find it. And it was a really interesting experience for me to do that, and I really practiced a lot, and I learned how to do that presentation really well. So I would encourage you to look at TED Talks because a lot of them are very polished. Some of them are not, but most of them are 12, 15 minutes, the talk of a lifetime. So I think that you might find it to be very worth your while. I wanted to mention in the They Snooze You Lose readings from this week, chapters 3, 4, and 5, there were several types of presenters that were mentioned: lecturers, entertainers, motivational speakers, and then educators. And one of the things I really liked about what they said about the education role is that it's really a calling. And so while we're talking about public speaking and we're talking about appropriately carrying yourself, connecting with your audience and so forth, it's also really important for you to recognize that the educator in us is a real calling as opposed to lots of other roles like the entertainer or the motivator. I liked the Steve Jobs top 10. I thought that they were really good, and they actually mirrored a number of things that Davin has been telling you all along in this class. So I thought that that was one that, while it was a little trite, I would take some time to look at those, and really the exercise where you think through whether you're good at those things, I thought that that would be time well spent. In chapter 4, the author is introducing the CHIMES model, and CHIMES stands for connections, humor, image, music, emotion, and stories. And that was, I thought, a really nice sort of mnemonic to remember some of the major things from the textbook They Snooze You Lose. And we're going to be looking at some more of those in the coming weeks. Chapter 5 was really looking at connections. And I liked the way that they framed that because it was connections between content, so between concepts and ideas and theories, and I thought that was useful. Between images and concepts, I thought that was really nice. And also they talked about the connection between the audience and the speaker. So I thought that that was a nice sort of overall construct, that connections as being the beginning of our journey into chimes. So I would encourage you to take some time to look at that chapter in particular. And I found that all of the chapters in the They Snooze You Lose reading this week were very useful, and I thought that the exercises were great, so you should take your time and work through that text. I hope that you all have a wonderful week, and we'll talk again next week. Thank you, and have a good evening.